Hello and welcome to the Melge Gaming YouTube channel. Recently I uploaded a video on the 5 biggest mistakes that new streamers make. We covered a lot from audio to networking. If you haven't seen the video yet, I definitely recommend that you check it out. I'll put a link up in the corner for you now so that you can go and have a look when you get a chance. We're going to be doing some in-depth videos on all of the topics that we discussed in the original video. So if you're interested in more tips and tricks for live streaming, then make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified when the new videos go live. Today, we're going to be taking a dive into the world of audio. We're going to try and show you some examples of poor audio and some things that you can do to try to overcome it. So let's get into it. When it comes to audio, there's a whole world of things to consider, and I appreciate that not everybody has the budget for that top tier audio setup. So we're going to take a look at some cheap and easy ways to help overcome poor audio. Firstly, your mic matters. The number one reason that people leave streams is due to poor audio. It's difficult to sit there trying to enjoy a stream when you're having to try and block out the noise of hum or buzz. You need to stop using a headset mic as soon as you possibly can. They're generally very low quality and they have no polar patterns to help block out background noise. Now, when I say polar patterns, that is the direction from which a microphone picks up noise. There are 3 particularly common types of polar patterns. They are cardioid, figure of 8, and omnidirectional. You want a cardioid microphone if at all possible. That will help block out sounds coming from the side and from behind the microphone. As we've said lots of times before, background noise is a killer. It's really off-putting for a viewer when they're sitting there watching your stream and all they can hear is a dog barking or a kid crying in the background. So it's important to make sure that you remove any unwanted background noise from your stream. The best way to do this is to remove any background noise from the environment. That means close your door, close your windows, let your housemates or your parents know that you're going to be streaming for a little while. There are some tips and tricks that you can use later down the line to try and remove background noise, but the best way to get the best audio is to get it right at the source. Now, getting audio right at the source means picking the right mic for the right job. Today, we're going to have a look at 3 different microphones. We're going to have a look at a very common stage dynamic microphone. We're going to have a look at a broadcast quality dynamic microphone. We're also going to have a look at a valve condenser mic. First up, we have the Shure SM57 or 58. They're essentially the same microphone, but one has a rounded grill and one has a flat grill. I use the SM57 with a flat grill as it allows me to mic very close to my guitar amps when I'm doing that. Now, it is a dynamic microphone, which means you're probably going to have to put quite a lot of volume through it to get a nice clear sound. You'll also have to crank the gain up on your sound card, which is going to potentially introduce noise into the signal. We're going to have a listen to this without any filters on it to give you an idea of what it sounds like. So this is an example of the Shure SM57 with no filters on. I'm keeping an eye on the signal, which is why I keep glancing away from the camera, just to see how loud it is. I'm speaking as loudly and clearly as I can here, and my gain is cranked up, and we're not getting that much coming through the signal. I'm just going to go silent for a minute so that you can hear if there is any background like hum or buzz. And as I say, this is the Shure SM57 with no filters. We're going to go and have a quick listen to it now with some filters. This is the Shure SM57 with some filters on. Basically, we've tried to clean the audio up. We have removed some background noise. We've tried to deaden any reverb that was on there, and then we've increased the volume and put a slight EQ on it, just for an example for you. Next up, we have the Rode Procaster. This is a dynamic microphone, a broadcasting quality dynamic microphone, and it's an industry leading standard for live streaming and podcasting. It's a hefty bit of kit. They're about £150 brand new. It's quite weighty. I can tell you that you're gonna have to speak quite loud and clear into this to get any kind of good signal through it. Again, being a dynamic mic, you may have to crank the gain on your sound card and that's going to potentially introduce noise into the signal. Let's have a little listen to the Procaster without any filters on it. This is the Rode Procaster microphone, the dynamic or broadcasting dynamic quality microphone. Having a look at the signal, it's even lower than the SM57. I'm speaking very nice and loud and clearly into this now to try and get a really good signal through it. It's a good, I'd say maybe 5 inches from my mouth, probably closer than it would be during a live stream. So yeah, you'd really want to use something like a cloud lifter or a signal booster in line with this mic to make sure that you get a nice clear sound from it. And we're just going to show you just a little bit of silence as well to see if there's any background hum or buzz. We're going to apply some filters for you so you can see what it sounds like with a bit of tweaking. Here's the Rode Procaster with some tweaks. We've done pretty much the same as with the SM57. We've tried to reduce any background noise, deaden any reverb, boosted the volume and applied a slight EQ as well. And lastly, we have the Rode NTK valve condenser microphone. I love this mic, I think it sounds fantastic, which is why I use it for all of my videos and my live streams. This mic is most commonly found in a musical studio setting, probably being used to mic acoustic guitar or very, very warm vocals. Now, being that it's a condenser microphone, and a valve-driven condenser mic at that, it means that A, it's quite sensitive. That means I won't have to turn the gain up so high on my sound card, and that means introducing less noise from my preamps. On the other hand, it does mean that the microphone is a bit more susceptible to picking up background noise than the two dynamic mics that we looked at earlier. This is the Rode NTK valve condenser microphone with no filters applied to it. We'll see how this sounds. I can already see from the signal coming through that it's getting a much louder sound than the two dynamic microphones that we've tested. Here's a bit of silence that you can listen for any background hum or buzz. And now we're going to listen to the NTK with just a few filters applied. And here's the NTK with a few filters. All we've done here is try to clean up any background hum and buzz. Again, we've deadened a little bit of reverb. We've applied a slight EQ and boosted it just a tiny bit. Next, we're just going to talk a little bit about noise suppression and noise reduction software and noise gates. Now, noise suppression or reduction uses AI smarts to analyze your microphone signal and determine what's background noise and remove it. There's a whole host of options out there for noise suppression and noise reduction, but the easiest, simplest, and cheapest is probably the filter inside of OBS itself. Go to your audio source, click the cog, go to filters, right-click, and apply a noise suppression filter. You drag the bar to add or reduce the amount of suppression being applied to your signal. The best option on the market right now for noise suppression, in my opinion, is NVIDIA's RTX Voice. RTX Voice is a free download, a quick Google search will get you to the website, and it's very easy to set up. To set up RTX Voice is very simple. Open up the RTX Voice application and select your microphone. Then in your broadcasting software, go to the settings, find your microphone source and set it to be RTX Voice. Now, NVIDIA RTX Voice works best with RTX graphics cards. That's the 20 series, so 2060, 70 and 80, and the Supers and TIs as well. It will work with the new 30 series that's just been announced, and it can also be made to work with the GTX 10 series. But you will need to do some file editing to get that to work. Nothing too complex, a quick Google search should be able to help you out. Unlike noise suppression, which uses AI smarts to determine what is and isn't background noise, a noise gate relies on you setting a threshold. For example, I could set a threshold of -12 decibels. Any sound that never reaches -12 decibels won't be played on the stream. Anything that goes above -12 decibels will. To add a noise gate, all you need to do is go to your audio source in OBS, click on the settings cog, go to filters, right click, and then apply a noise gate filter. You'll need to play around with the open and close thresholds to make sure you get it just right for your setup. And lastly, we're just going to have a little chat about general audio troubleshooting. As you build your audio setup and expand it, it's going to get more and more complex and harder to test, especially if you start going outboard to things like XLR microphones. Also, the more individual components you have, the more opportunity you're giving for interference and signal loss to affect your sound. So if you're struggling with things like hum, buzz, crackle, and pop, here's a few things that you can try to help identify the cause of the problem. Number 1, try swapping your mic out for another one. Hopefully you've got a spare or a friend has got one. Doesn't have to be a great mic, just one that is known to be working. It should tell you straight away if your mic is the issue or if it's something else in your audio setup. Second thing I would test, because it's very quick, easy, and cheap to test, is swapping out your cables. Swap your cables out just to make sure you've not got a damaged one in there that's causing some crackle or hum in your sound. Thirdly, I would turn off any third-party software one by one to see if any of those are affecting the noise of your microphone. Third-party software could be anything, including RTX Voice, VoiceMod, or VoiceMeter. And just one last tip for you. It's a bit of a strange one, but it is something that's happened to me. I had a constant sort of robotic or static noise on my microphone. I tried everything to get rid of it. I was on the verge of buying a new sound card, and it was only solved once I changed the USB port that my sound card was plugged into. I moved it from one USB to another, and that solved the problem. Now that about sums up our brief dive into the world of audio. I'm sure this video has probably raised just as many questions as it's answered. So if there's anything that you'd like to know more about, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. Please make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get notified for future videos. And thank you all for watching.